we need to talk about the crazy news that I think has finally fully developed. And it's about the employee, or I guess non-employee, that has absolutely wreaked havoc over all of this AI startup space and has dunked on all of these YC companies. And even worse, has literally stolen all of your jobs. And if you haven't been living under a rock recently, y'all would already have seen this news. It's been all over X, it's been all over Threads, it's all over Reddit. There's been other YouTubers creating content on this. And I'm talking about the individual Soham Parekh. And maybe I'm butchering that name, and if you're out there, I apologize. But what you did was absolutely wild. And if you have been out of the loop, what this individual did was crazy. This person worked multiple jobs. And that sounds so silly, but let me explain. We're not talking about moonlighting, where you're working 1 or 2 jobs. You have a side project or a side hustle. You're building a side business. It's not that. We're talking about 23 AI startups where it's 5 and 6 and 7 concurrently. So there's no possibility of moonlighting anymore. This is true, just taking abuse of these remote startups with big salaries. So yeah, this remote employee from India was simultaneously working for over 20 AI startups, and he's been doing this for years now. And I'm not talking about like the local mom and pop shop. I'm talking about like no shit, cream of the crop AI YC backed startup companies. And what's crazy is through all of these companies, I don't even think raw equity, but just genuine raw salary was pulling over $1 million a year. And on one pedestal, some of you out there are like, wow, what a hero, what a legend, absolutely goated. Screw those companies, he's raking in the big bucks. And then the other side of you are like, holy shit, like I could never do that. That's super unethical. And I think what's the craziest part of all of this is he seemed talented. And maybe he is genuinely talented. So for some of you are like, how the hell is this even possible? He aced interviews. Some companies went out to say that this was the best system design interview that they've ever had. And they simply didn't hire this person because he didn't pass the strict background checks that they have when you need to have a legitimate referral. And this is crazy. But I don't want to dive too much into that story. There's lots of other YouTube videos out there right now who are giving you raw evidence and details and sharing all the company's tweets and all that stuff. Go watch those. You should. They're super educational on this topic, and I don't want to repeat that content. But I want to talk about how it impacts you and what are maybe some of the outtakes and some of the things that I thought about as someone who likes to grow their career, someone who likes to motivate others and build others up. What does it mean for the rest of us? Look, I'm gonna start by saying off the rip, this was probably the worst career mistake that this person has ever made. Maybe they're gonna be fine for the rest of their life because they do have some serious equity. I'd imagine, I don't know, but I'd imagine some serious equity built up in all of these AI startups. And whenever they go out, I don't know, it's gonna be a huge legal battle, I'm sure, about paying this individual after all of the blatant lies and scams that he's brought these companies through. So maybe he's sitting on a fat stack of cash one day and he just needs to get through the now. And it's fine because he's literally making millions of dollars by ripping all of these YC companies. But holy shit, what a life lesson for all of us. Here's some of the things that I thought about, and it's not like I'm trying to teach you something here. Here is just how I perceive this problem and what I thought about. The first thing that came to mind was about just transparency. Being honest, not lying, not just lying on your resume. Because this person probably didn't lie on the resume in the sense that they still interviewed, and they interviewed really well. What they did lie about was like their status in the United States, because a lot of these companies were based out of California. They did lie about obviously working for other companies. Never heard of that company, but I'm working for them secretly. And what does this mean for you? I think we are so more connected now more than ever. It does feel like X is popping off again in the technical space. And now we have other big socials growing like Threads, which if you aren't following me on Threads, link down below. We have a lot of fun out there. But there's X, there's Threads, there's Blue Sky, there's all of these different socials that are popping off in the technical space. And what does that mean? That means you are seen now more than ever. I guarantee you, had this individual, this hero, this vigilante who came out on X and said, holy shit, don't hire this guy. We just fired him after a week because we found out he was lying to us, even though he interviewed really well. Within like less than a day, I'm talking, I think like 23 hours or something, all of that YC network had communicated with one another. And so many other founders came out saying, yes, he did the same thing to us. Holy shit, I have him hired right now. Without those social medias, without that networking, none of that would have been possible. So I think it is a abundantly clear. Now more than ever, you need to be so ungodly transparent with yourself, on your resume, in your interviews, and I think it is totally okay for you to say, I don't know the answer to the question, rather than lying about it. When you get asked in an interview, hey, have you ever done this? It's fine to say no, but just follow it up with, but I'm really excited to. And obviously you need to actually be excited to grow and learn and move on from that. So now more than ever, you need to be abundantly transparent because shit spreads like a wildfire, and our network of technical spheres, especially in the AI startup space, is connected more than you can imagine. The second thing that I thought about was quality over quantity. I think a lot of young engineers think that they need to just be highly quantitative in that they should know all of these different tools and all of these different things. A lot of people still aspire to be that full stack developer. But I think what we're seeing here, especially in the AI space, is go and specialize. Get really good at one thing. Produce quality. You don't need to be so crazy quantitative that you need to have 20 fucking jobs all at once, because wild times. I can't even imagine the stress of just trying to make all of the damn team statuses align to when you're on different teams meetings and things like that. If this person went to any meetings, maybe they didn't. And I think the third thing I thought about, and most important to me, is that your reputation and your word is more important than anything. Now more than ever. Like I said earlier, we are so damn networked together, especially if you're working for a YC company. Like, they literally have group chats of all these different YC founders so they can share knowledge and grow. Like, that causes other YC companies to grow, and then it causes YC to grow. So of course there's network channels in and out of the YC, but just in life and in your workplace, your reputation will carry you further and further than literally any technical skill you could ever have. And if you don't believe me, look at it this way. This individual was talented and smart enough to ace multiple interviews, tens of interviews, and steal jobs out there from you all while we're all struggling to find work. He went and aced all of these interviews, got really fat salaries, and is now blacklisted from all of these companies. I don't think that this person will work in tech ever again. And at least not in the AI space, and at least not for the next 5 years. Maybe it blows over and people forget. But those type of stains, they last a very, very long time. So I think your reputation is way more important than what you give it to. I think your word is so incredibly important, especially shout out to all my younger engineers out there. If you want the autonomy of making decisions and working from home and doing all of those things that we think we should just have, if you want to earn those things, you need to be able to put in the work. You need to be able to hold your word, and you need to go out and actually do the things that you say you're going to do. Your reputation is your reputation, and that is the one thing you truly can control for the rest of forever. I think that's so incredibly important, and I don't think we talk about it nearly enough. And I think what blows my mind the most out of all of this, and it's like, this is not a serious point, but just kind of like a what the hell point. What blows my mind most out of all of this is he could have seriously worked for like maybe 2 or 3 of these companies, genuinely showed up because he clearly had the talent to get there, and just freaking bankrolled. But instead he chose chaos and woke up and chose violence or whatever, and decided to scale that operation. And now his scaling effort has bit him in the ass. So what do you think? Is he a genius scammer? Is he an absolute moron who's never gonna work in this field again? Or is he just another guy trying to do the side hustle and we're backing him and it sucks that all these companies found out and all that stuff? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you all next week.